Teslas are great cars and they can save you a lot of money. But there are some things that if you do or if you don't do, you can be in the hole financially. So I made a list of 10 mistakes that can potentially cost you thousands, so hopefully you can watch this video and not make them yourself. Let's get into it. In no particular order, the first one I have is overpaying for home charging. Most people may not know this, but with Tesla's mobile wall connector, you can charge your Tesla on the same outlet you would charge your phone on. Now, yes, of course, it's a slower charge, but if you can use that outlet overnight, you'll get more than enough range for your daily driving, unless you drive like way more than the average person. And if you do drive a ton, you still don't need some super high-end charging setup at home. You can just simply upgrade your outlet to the 240 volt, which is what a lot of washer and dryers use nowadays, which would save you a lot more money than upgrading to some big wall connector or some other big setup. Now, I'm no electrician. My only point here is that you don't need some big, fancy, expensive setup at home. If you have a normal outlet, you can charge your Tesla. Now, mistake number 2 is not checking for any of your state incentives or your state rebates. Now, yes, the big national EV tax credit did just recently end, but some states still offer their own unique rebates and credits for EVs or for at-home charging. Now, I'm not going to go through every single state's incentives, but luckily, Tesla has a link on their website where you can click your state and see what your state has to offer. And I'll go ahead and leave that link down below, but unfortunately, if you're here in Nevada like me, we don't have much here. Now, third, a big potential mistake is not using Sentry mode. Sentry mode literally saved me thousands of dollars the day after I picked up my first Tesla. And if you don't know, Sentry mode is a feature that uses its cameras to record what's happening around you when your car is out and parked somewhere. For those who watch my channel, you already know, but for those who don't, the morning after I picked up my Tesla, I got an alert on my phone that said my alarm was going off. I thought it was some glitch, but when I came out, I saw a big dent in the side of my car, and I had footage in my car from Sentry mode being on that showed somebody backing into me and just driving away. But luckily, because I had this footage, I got their plate information. I didn't have to file an insurance claim on my own or potentially pay out of my pocket for the damages. And a quick bonus tip here, you don't need to leave Sentry mode on all the time, because Sentry mode does take up some battery while it's on, but trust me, it is worth it. However, if you're parking in your garage or something, you have the option to turn Sentry mode off at certain locations. Now, the fourth mistake a lot of people make is frequently charging to 100% battery. Now, on some standard range models or models with LFP batteries, you can safely charge to 100% whenever you want. But on almost any other Tesla recommends keeping your charging limit for daily driving to 80%. And this is because keeping the battery at or close to full for days, weeks, or months at a time can lead to faster battery degradation. Nowadays, Tesla batteries are designed and meant to outlast the life of the car, and data shows that they do. But to get the most possible life out of your battery, you want to make sure you keep your daily charging limit at or below 80%. If you're not sure what kind of battery you have, don't worry. If you plug in your Tesla and set your charging limit, if your Tesla recommends you charge to 80% for daily driving, that means you don't have an LFP battery and you need to keep it at 80%. But also, if you're on a road trip or you need your full range for a long day, you can charge to 100% sometimes and it'll be okay. It'll have no impact on the life of your battery. And a quick bonus tip here to save even more money potentially, you can schedule what times you want your Tesla to charge at. So for example, if you have a time of use electricity plan at home and it's cheapest between like midnight and 6 a.m., you can set your Tesla to charge only between those hours. So no matter when you're plugged in, your Tesla won't charge outside of those hours, saving you even more money. Now, mistake number 5 is ignoring to do your tire rotations. Now, do Tesla tires actually wear out more quicker than gas cars? Honestly, I don't think so. I had a Model 3 that lasted me 58,000 miles before I needed to change my tires. But before I changed them, I totaled my car, but that's a different story. Tesla recommends rotating your tires about every 6,250 miles, which is quite often. But if you do stay on top of this and you don't test out the acceleration on a daily basis, you can get a lot more life out of your tires and not have to spend so much money replacing them early on. Now, mistake number 6 may be a bit controversial, but it is using the feature called cabin overheat protection. This is the feature that will keep your cabin below 90 or 100 degrees at all times. So, for example, if your car is parked in the hot summer sun, just like this here, you can imagine the AC and climate control will be working a lot to keep it cool, which again, as you can imagine, would cost a lot of battery. A much better alternative is to, before you get in your car, open your Tesla app and go to climate controls and turn your climate on just a few minutes before, so when you get in your car, it can be an ideal temperature. And then of course, your climate will only be on for a few minutes instead of potentially a few hours or all day, which of course would save you a lot of battery. Now, mistake number 7 is potentially buying the wrong configuration. Now, don't get me wrong, the Model 3 and Model Y Performance are awesome cars. And I do agree, for the level of performance that you get for how much they cost, they're a really great value. But if you're buying a Tesla for your daily driver, you just might not need that level of performance. The long range or standard versions of the 3 and the Y are still really fast, and they cost a lot less, and you still get a lot of the same features that the performance variants offer. Now, I do admit you can call me a bit of a hypocrite because what you see behind me is my Model 3 Performance, but I do plan on taking it to the track to test it out and have some fun, and that'll be a video coming up soon, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Now, the next potential mistake is not setting your trunk height. Tesla trunks have a very wide opening, which is great for storing things, but not so great if you park in a tight space or a small garage. If you ever see a Tesla with a small dent in the middle of the trunk, that person probably opened their trunk in a small garage and hit the ceiling. So to avoid that yourself, you can set your trunk height. To do this, open your trunk and manually drag it to the height that you want it to open. Then you want to hold this button until you hear this sound. And now, whenever you open your trunk, it'll only open to this height that you set it at. Now, potential mistake number 9. This may ruffle some feathers, but hear me out. I'm going to say potentially getting full self-driving. I've been using FSD on and off for the last 3 years. It's amazing how far it's come, and I believe it is fully close to being 100% autonomous. However, your basic standard autopilot is still a thing. Now, if you want something to get from point A to point B completely autonomously, full self-driving is absolutely it. But if you want something just for the occasional road trip, autopilot can do that just fine, and you'll save yourself $8,000 in the process by not getting full self-driving. And lastly, here on my list, I want to touch on automatic car washes. Now, this isn't unique to Teslas. If you have any car that you love and want to take care of, you probably don't want to take it through those cheap automatic car washes. Touchless car washes are okay, hand washing even better, but if you want to avoid those swirls that you see in the paint when the light hits it a certain way, then you want to avoid those cheap car washes. Those swirls might not look like much, but to get a full paint correction to fix those can cost you a pretty penny. And that right there is my list of 10 mistakes I see a lot of new Tesla owners make that can potentially cost them a lot of money. So if you're a new or soon-to-be new owner, I hope you found this video helpful. If you're an experienced owner and you think I missed something, please leave a comment down below and let me know. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.